Hi, my name's Suzanne Earle. I quit the rat race nearly 2 years ago to concentrate on another business, so I was able to free up my time to do things which I enjoy, and the things I enjoy is gardening. So I'm going to run through just how you start off some of your seeds in the spring, and these are the ones literally that I'm doing now, so they're things that you can do yourself if you want to. The first thing is equipment. A heated propagator is ideal, but if you haven't got a heated one, an unheated one, but I recommend investing in one of those. The other thing is somewhere to put the compost when you're potting up, which is really handy. Obviously compost, I use organic compost, a small watering can, little seed trays to put the seeds in, some vermiculite to go over the top, a block to pat the compost down with, and also the seeds that you're going to sow. And the ones I'm going to sow this week are leeks, kale, aubergines and tomatoes. So we'll get started now. The first thing you do is fill your seed tray with compost. So very generously fill it, give it a little bit of a shake like that, break down any hard lumps or take them off. This is where the block comes in handy. You pat it down like that, scrape off any excess, just like that, and then you get your seeds out. So I'm going to do the tomatoes first. Quite often handy if you're wearing gloves to take them off at this point so you can handle the seeds easier. And if you're not bothered about getting your hands dirty, then you don't even need gloves on in the first place. But I have nice nails and I'd like to keep them that way. So you get seeds and you gently sprinkle them. Try and do them as thinly as possible, but don't get too worked up if they're not as thinly spread as you'd like them to be, because you'll thin them out anyway. I'm sure experts will tell you to do them a certain way, but I'm not an expert. There you go. And then you get your vermiculite. It on to the seeds. So gently sprinkle that on very generously, because you're going to pat that off as well. Rather than cover, because they're such tiny seeds, you could cover them with a tiny layer of compost if you don't get any vermiculite. But if you can get vermiculite, it's worth having, because it's just it just gives better germination. So I'm just going to dust that off, and again you do the same thing as you did before, gently pat it down, very gently, like that. And then when it's gently patted down, you then scrape off the excess like that. And that is a tray of tomatoes. So the next thing you need to do, so you know what you've put in the tray, we all think we're going to remember, and I've done it myself, not putting a label on it, and you don't remember what's what. So the best thing to do is to get these little markers and to mark on there what they are and the type of tomato. If you're doing one type of tomato, then you don't need to, but because I do more than one, I'll put Tom on there on one side and then Roma on the other side, and I'll put that in the seed tray so I then know what's germinated. And then I lift off the propagator, put the seeds in, and you never water on top of the top, otherwise the seeds will just wash out. In here, in the propagator, there is an absorbent matting which you will get with your propagator, and if you don't, it's like capillary matting. and you fill that with water and you keep that moist. You can be quite generous with it, because I'll obviously put more in here and there'll be more seeds, and the water will absorb up through the bottom, and that's why when you get seed trays you don't want them too deep, otherwise the water won't absorb to the top to get to the seeds. So once that's done, you put the lid on and you plug it in. If your propagator is not heated, put it in a warm room. If you put it in a cold room, there'll be no heat and it won't germinate very well. My one is heated, so I could put mine anywhere in my house, obviously indoors. I hope that's given you some inspiration to get planting, and if you've got any questions, then please comment or personal message me. Have a good day. Welcome back. Just to show you what it all now looks like, I've sown the tomatoes and the kale, so 2 lots of tomato, cherry and Roma, and a dwarf kale. As I was running out of room, it's always handy, I've got those seed trays to have other seed trays. I was running out of room for my aubergines, so they're in separate ones, and with the aubergines you don't get quite so many in a packet quite often. So what I've done is I've just put 2 to a pot, and obviously I've labelled every single one. And I ran out of room in my propagator, so what I've done for my leeks, you can put leeks in shallow trays, but I quite like to do them in deep ones because leeks grow down, and I find I can leave them in here right up until I'm about to plant them. So I do often plant leeks slightly differently, but you can do leeks that way as well. So I use a deep pot and I put compost, the seeds, and then obviously the vermiculite on the top. And when I water these with a watering can with a rose on the top, so it sprinkles on there rather than just pours. But for these ones, I just, like I said, you don't water over the top of them because the seeds will wash everywhere. You water into the tray, and you will have to water quite a lot and it will soak up quite a lot, but you'll get an idea and you'll know once the water has come through, the vermiculite will change colour and you'll know that the water's come up to the top. So you might have to give it a good water, and then in an hour or times or so you will have to maybe water them again so that the moisture has gone to the top. With these, because I can't fit these in the propagator, I will probably just put some clear plastic bags over the top of them because that will often give it enough warmth for it to germinate. And if it doesn't, these will germinate quite quickly, and I'll switch them round. And I know that these pots are just about, I can just fit them in my propagator if I have to. So that's the end of that. So hopefully you'll get planting.